Honestly, it started with the defensive end, getting stops early, holding them to one shot, boxing them out, and getting in transition and just getting easy buckets. I think that's where we're at our best when we play in the open court. We don't have to play in the half court all the time. We play fast. Clapbacks when they score, even when they score, we're trying to get it on, get easy buckets in transition. So I think that's what's the separator. Man, I really don't look into my stat line. The biggest thing for me is coming out with the win. And that's whatever I got to do to get that win, I'm gonna do it. So I think tonight, they encouraged me to just keep going and keep being aggressive and keep making plays, and that's what I did tonight, and I think that was the separator for us. And I'm also, shout out our bigs, Sananda, Ali, Vaughn was in there. I don't want to consider Vaughn a big, but, the people that, do the dirty work inside and the interior, they played hard today. They helped us out with boxing out. We came in and cleaned it up and got out in transition, and, they played they butt off. So I think that was another separator for us. I want to give them props as well. What statement did I make? I mean, I don't want to sound cocky or anything, but I trust my work, and I know how much work I put in to get to this point. There's been a lot of hours put into the gym, them unseen hours, that come onto the court, and I think it's just expected of me. That's the expectation I set myself to, and without the help of my teammates, I don't think it's possible. So they definitely encouraged me to be myself. Yeah, he's been in our shoes before, so, down the stretch, they gonna make a run. That's just a game of basketball. It's a game of runs. He just kept telling us, stay composed, stay calm, weather the storm, and get the job done. Yeah, we knew how important this game was, especially for our fan base. We walk down the street, go to class, and they telling us, man, beat UK, beat UK. That's all we care about, and to be able to get the job done for them meant a lot to us. Yeah, he told us just enjoy the process, trust the process. Every single day. Yeah, he just tells us, trust the process, and just be us. It wasn't really about them. It was just, we know how much work we put in since we stepped foot on this campus, and, it was just all about us, this game, and I think that's how we played, and we played together, and, we got the job done. Yeah, I think that game was needed just because, we didn't play to our standard that game. Obviously it was the first game, so I'm very hyped for it. And over time, we just, went back to the drawing board and continued to, get better as a team and come together as a team. And I think that really helped us. And we've been through the fire already, so I think that's what helped us, come out with a punch and with a bang, from the first possession from the tip. So yeah, it wasn't just him. He's a great player, but it was almost everybody. Colin Chandler played really well for them. The bigs, played really well for them. Jalen Lowe played really well for them. It wasn't just him, but he definitely was, priority, just to, neutralize him in a sense. And I think that we executed that really well today.